Well, welcome back. Now to a little controversy in baseball after the New York Yankees hit 3 home runs on 3 pitches and 9 more during the game, leading them to a 29 win over the Brewers. Pitchers and baseball purists have been up in arms.
It's over a bat made in Maine, specifically Skowhegan, called the torpedo bat. Joining us this morning to talk about the controversy and the bat is Jesse LaCase. Jesse, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah, appreciate it.
First of all, you brought some of the bats with you. What is a torpedo bat and how is it different?
So, torpedo bat, I mean, there is some differences for sure, but overall, it's not that different. What they've done and what we've done is you take the wood from the end of the bat and the weight, and we're moving it to the sweet spot, which has given us more mass into the ball. The mass has actually moved a little closer to the logo as well. For those players that, are getting jammed a little bit, it's actually helping more balls go into play, and according to the Yankees, over the fence. So, yeah.
Well, like you said, you've heard some of the complaints and the excitement as well. What do you think about this sort of controversy we're dealing with?
I don't know if I'd call it too much of a controversy. The bats are 100% in MLB specs. I actually find it, from my personal experience, hitting with them is amazing. The weight is closer to our hands. Easier to swing the bat, for sure, just to have a weight closer to your hands. Overall, I think, maybe it's an early season thing, but I think in the end, I think it will help players all around. And I think bats will break less, which is a big thing. Having the weight closer to the hands should make for a stronger bat.
Yeah, which will save a lot of money, especially if you're a high school baseball player. They're so expensive. Hey, and now the batter still needs to make contact, but when he does, what happens versus that normal wooden bat? Does the bat go farther? It's just more power or what?
Overall, there's more mass, weight going into the ball, into the point of contact, which is, it could go further. Just last night I saw one of the furthest balls was hit by Kyle Schwarber. So that was without a torpedo bat. So it's tough to say, but in general, I think it's giving players more control of the barrel weight of the bat.
All right, what happens when you hear a quote like from one of the Brewers pitchers during that 20-9 loss we talked about earlier? It felt like slow pitch softball.
Sometimes I like to think that the hitters are really hot in the beginning of the year. Pitchers are just kind of coming into their own. So it's really tough to say this early in the season how much it's going to help players. And how much it's going to hurt pitchers, I guess, is really a big one for the pitchers, right?
Yeah.
I think it's finally good that the batters get some advantage. I feel like everything's always gone to the pitchers, and it's time for hitters to get a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah,
maybe.
And we've talked about this because pitchers have gotten so much better and the pitchers so much faster, some throwing over 100 miles an hour. So this does even the playing field a little bit over the last few years.
I think so. And I have this other bat right here that's really is showing a much larger sweet spot that's away from the end, which I agree with you. It should help. It should help hitters. We're not supposed to hit the ball towards the end of the bat anyway, and if we do, it often breaks a bat or stings your hands. It's a weak ground ball, so moving the weight to where the ball is normally contacted or even lower should drastically help hitters. I hope anyway.
Can you talk about your distribution? You don't actually directly supply to certain teams and things like that.
We do not. So I run Maine Billets and LaCase Bats. We supply 2 bat companies. So we supply a dowel, or known as a billet, Maine Billets. This is what bat company will buy to. This is a piece of rock maple by. Just so you know, and then that's what we supply to bat companies, and they turn their own bats, or they buy bats from us. As you see, this one's blank, and then add a logo to it, add the paint, and we have customers. They're like artists. They make bats look amazing. It's awesome. Really great to see.
When you watch that Robert Redford movie, The Natural, he makes the baseball bat out of the tree that was struck by lightning. So what is the best tree to make a bat out of? The best wood out there?
Well, it's tough to say. We use maple, ash, and yellow birch. Yellow birch is really gaining steam in the bat world. Ash is still out there, one of the original bat woods, beautiful grain. Maple, though, which is all I have here, maple has become by far the most popular wood out there. It's harder, it has less flex, it creates a higher exit velo, and tends to send the ball further over the fence or faster back at the pitcher, one or the other, right?
Is all the chatter about these torpedo bats good for business for you, do you think?
It is. It's helped a lot. Even some of our regular customers are adding torpedoes to their bats and that they're selling to customers. They're still ordering the regular bats. I mean, it's not every player is going to switch, but I think a lot of players around the world, around the country, are going to give the torpedo bat a try.
Yeah, and we just heard from the vice president of Sea Dogs. He knows if some of the Sea Dog players that are going to buy the torpedo bat. And by the way, so folks know, the bats are not illegal. They comply with the rules.
100%. Yeah, so MLB, you just can't go over a 2.61 diameter. You can't have any sharp edges on your bat, and it can't be longer than 42 inches, which I don't think anyone's swung since Babe Ruth, so no issue there.
What do you enjoy most about being in this business?
Oh, so my son works for me. I have a high school friend who's my partner in Maine billets. I love dealing with making bats every day, talking to customers, talking to bat companies around the country. Really, it's a small kind of family business in a sense, and we really enjoy every aspect of it. Having my own schedule, being able to coach some baseball, yeah, so a lot of advantages. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, what's next when it comes to baseball bat? Wait, this seems like it's brand new, the torpedo. People are all talking about it. What's next in the bat industry?
I don't know what they're going to go with next. It seems like they've been advancing for years, in my opinion. 60, 70 years ago, handles were fatter. Midsections were bigger, bats broke less. Now players are looking for a thinner handle with a big barrel and a lighter piece of wood, which tends to break more often. So bats have changed over the years a lot, and the torpedo is really changing it again. I think it may be for the better. I think you're going to see most bats are going to start to taper down a little bit towards the end of the barrel. There's just no need to leave the weight there, and having that weight close to your hands is going to give you more power. For sure.
Right. And we'll have to see which players on the Sea Dogs decide to use these.
Yeah, that's right. And see if the scores and the batting averages actually continue to go up. You know, so the Yankees set a record for like 25 home runs in like 8 games or something like that. So, yeah.
All right.
Hitting the ball crazy.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and showing us. It's actually cool to see them in person, you know?
Definitely, yes. Thanks for having me. We really appreciate it.
All right, got to get one of my sons one of those bats so he can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah,
And not break them, right?
Yes.